Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Lunch Break Podcast. Don't know what's going on with the volume here on my software, but whatever. You're still listening, which means you don't care about perfection because the Lunch Break Podcast never offers that.
Yes, we don't have high quality or high expectations. Just get it recorded and get it up there, and
that's right.
People listen to it.
That's right. So today we actually have a very, very, very special edition of the Lunch Break Podcast.
What makes it so special?
What makes it special is we got two guests, not just one guest. We got two guests on the show. What is this called? This is actually called After Dinner Discussions, right? That's what this edition is called. Now, before I introduce our guests, though, if you're watching on video, you probably already see them because this is just being recorded as is. But I mentioned in the last podcast, I was afraid that upon confessing these movies, there would be some repercussions for me. And there were, because on Friday, my text messages were blowing up with disdain from my buds. The first one was one who I didn't see coming, which I should have, because how did I not? We have Andy and Bimbo. Hope you're comfortable with the last name being out there.
Yeah, bring it on, man.
It sounds like Bimbo.
Just the whole name being out there associated with such a podcast. And then also, as you just heard, is returning to the show for a second time, Mr. Nick D'Angelo.
Honor and privilege.
No, the honor and privilege is all ours. And of course, you know me, I'm Ricky, and
I'm Chris.
So the reason we're having these guys on is because, we're not the kind of podcast where if people give us some negative comments, we brush them off. We embrace them. We want to hear what people hated about what we said and what people, I guess, hate about really who we are as people based on the things we haven't seen. So that's what this whole episode is for. So this is an open forum for you guys to tell us why we stink. So you heard our list. You know the movies we haven't seen.
It's out there.
Let us know why are you appalled at the things we haven't seen?
Well, let me just say this. Huge fan. I listen to every episode the day it comes out. You might think I'm joking, but I actually really do. And I think I've commented on pretty much 90% of these episodes, Ricky. Am I right?
You are absolutely correct. You're a faithful listener.
And sometimes I disagree, but I respect your opinion. Sometimes I firmly agree. Like the Crocs episode, I'm totally team Vans. And my favorite, I can actually pinpoint my favorite episode was the 90s Nickelodeon. And you, Ricky, you did an impression of Mr. Dink, and I lost it. It was the best, most subtle impression I've ever heard. But with this episode, I was so angry at the gym. Like I was just listening at the gym and I was so angry. I had to text Nick right away because I knew it would be a while before he'd listen to this, if ever, really.
Wait, so you're at the gym when you sent that message?
Yeah, I was crunching it.
We helped you out. We were the fuel to make.
Oh yeah. I might have got a couple more reps out of anger.
Look at those biceps in the camera. Those are lunch break buys. Biceps.
Oh goodness. Nick, weigh in on this, man. This is nonsense.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have listened to it for a while. I'm not really a fan.
Appreciate it. All right.
Not even a fan, but it was good.
But I do like you guys as people.
Okay.
Because of whose image you were created in. And so other than that, I finally got around to listening to the podcast. And yeah, there's a couple things that are troubling. One, there's the movies that you haven't seen, which naturally happens in friendships. You find out, wow, you haven't seen this movie. We need to make a plan to watch these movies. But it was your responses to each other not seeing the movies. It was like, oh yeah, I guess, life was going, it was probably busy for you around that time. It was like super, I don't even know. It was like it was Canadian. It was like I was listening to a Canadian podcast, and you guys were just super nice to each other. I was like, well, that's understandable, you know. You shouldn't see the most, you probably shouldn't see Titanic, which I'm not fighting for like the incredibleness of it, but Titanic was a monster movie. You should see it. If you haven't seen it, and you're talking about movies, you should see it.
It's not very high on the list of things to go see. Like I saw it. It was long. You don't have to go anywhere now. Everything's here. No, when I say go see, it's just not on the list of movies to see, I should say.
It's not a high priority, right?
It is.
Who's talking about Titanic? Who's saying, remember that scene in Titanic? Oh my goodness. When they're dancing on the lower deck.
I mean, the movie was
boogie.
The movie was like the biggest thing for over a decade.
For over a decade?
That's a long time.
What do you mean? Just by ticket sales?
Like gross sales and all that jazz.
Yeah, but people didn't care about it for over a decade. People cared about it for like a year.
Well, here's the question: when are they going to make another Titanic movie?
I'd like to see that. Zombie Jack, he's back.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So we always know that one's there. So if for some reason we're itching for a little romantic history, then
and we got 3.5 hours to spare.
Maybe it's time to check out Titanic.
It's a very good movie. You should see it.
Well, I think the big issue is the Marvel comments. Not only did you not see it, but you just had to say, "Oh, well, what are we missing out on? What are we missing out on?" Endgame's now the highest grossing movie in the world of all time.
It's 20 years of movies.
And you said it's not cinema. You quote Martin Scorsese. What does he know?
Touche. Yeah, and who was the other one?
Yelling now.
Yeah, no, it's true. I would say that I disagree with Scorsese highly on that. I've seen enough of the movies. 5 maybe I've seen out of how many? That's like 5%.
It's got to be 20 movies by now.
So I'll share just like Chris. I feel like I've seen the movies that I need to see. I've not missed an Avengers. I saw like the first of things. I haven't seen like the second or third Iron Man. It's like I don't got time for this, right? It's just too much. You're drowning me in this stuff. But usually when you talk about people with these movies, it's like, well, as long as you saw the first Iron Man, as long as you saw this one, like and here's the thing, you guys didn't even put up a fight. You were just like, oh yeah, I guess you haven't seen it. Like, yeah, he doesn't like Star Wars, so
we had a whole Star Wars episode that you didn't listen to.
No, I didn't listen to that.
So I think I was pretty kind to him on that one too, to be honest.
Very kind. In that episode?
In that episode. Now, I was definitely kind to him on this one because we had a whole episode where Chris didn't know anything about Star Wars, so that had already come and gone.
It was a good but I think it was a good episode because it was coming from a perspective of somebody who obviously hadn't seen it and was asking, "Hey, what am I missing out on?" I know you could say, "Well, watch the movies and find out yourself," but it was like, "Hey, what am I missing out on? Where should I start from if I'm going to start watching them again? Do I start from episode 4? Do I start from episode 1? What can I skip? What shouldn't I skip? That kind of thing. The Clone Wars, that's a whole like animated portion of it, right?
Yeah.
I completely understand people don't like sci-fi, this, that, and the other thing, but like we're people of narrative. We like storylines. We like character development. You should see these movies. Now, it doesn't mean that you're like the biggest fan or you have a lunchbox and thermostat. It's not that you have these things or you buy into the merchandising. You even talk about Spaceballs. Like there's just everything about certain movies, genres. Like you should put your feet in and be like, well, I saw it. It wasn't for me. I didn't love it.
Quick question. Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes, I've seen Spaceballs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just what happened there, I think that's how you should do. Nobody wants to listen to a podcast or watch it for that matter for people that are just sympathetic or like, I guess, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I understand. We want dynamic engagement. That's what we want.
You're fired.
Yeah, so we're firing you guys. Andy and I talked about we're going to start the Bully Podcast.
Oh, good.
The Lunchroom Bully podcast. Where all we do is listen to yours and beat it up. But I would propose if you're going to do something like this again, which I think you will, that you do it in a way where both of you guys come together with lists where you can't be human and not have seen this movie. And then you say the title of the movie, The Big Lebowski. And when someone says, I haven't seen it, then you get to like go guns blazing, and be like, "What's wrong with you?"
That's the Nick version.
That's what the people want.
That's what the people have spoken.
I think it would be worse if it was bands, like if it was music. Obviously, like I'm more passionate about music than movies, but that's a bit like Fight Club was on your list, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was definitely
on my list. I have not seen Fight Club.
Insanity.
Dude, you know how many times Dave Planer, a roommate in college, made me watch that movie until I loved it.
Yeah, no,
I leave.
I should have taken one time to watch it
that you put on, Andy, and the theme of it was Fight Club, and I was like, no context for that at all. Right?
So you didn't even watch Fight Club to prepare for my Fight Club event?
No, right? That was one of your things. Did you Fight Club, right?
Did you have a
Fight
Club?
Okay.
Do you have a Fight Club?
No, we didn't have a fight. Well, why would we talk about it?
We had a Fight Club, actually.
See, a reference. I knew a reference.
In college. It lasted for about 20 seconds to the first person got punched and got hurt. And we're like, we probably shouldn't do this. So yeah.
Was their eyeball going to fly out of their socket?
It wasn't that bad. It was like,
does that happen in the movie?
Someone got a bruise or got a little welt, and that was the end of it.
I think that happened at Andy's Fight Club, right? Corey was like, "Don't hurt me, man. My eyeball's going to fall out of its socket." Is that what happened?
Why would I drink water while laughing? Spit took all over my computer.
The people want more spit takes.
Yeah.
So you're saying
is that the proper?
So what I should have done was I should have gotten really angry with Ricky when he told me he hadn't seen that movie, and pushed him and said, "Let's stop the podcast right now. We're watching it immediately."
But how old does it get if Chris says I watched the first 2 Lord of the Rings movie and then failed to just conclude it? Like after every time I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?"
Right, that's true.
And then it would be 40 minutes of "What's wrong with you?"
I actually think you handled that well. I actually think you handled that well. You saw the first 2, didn't see the last. And then you saw, what was the other show? You saw the last, but didn't see the beginning.
He saw Goldmember, but didn't see the first 2.
Oh, yeah. Right, see, right. I think you properly gave it like, hey, man, like you just blew it. Like you haven't seen the completion, and then you missed the better versions of that movie with Austin Powers. I think you gave that some natural criticism, which was good. You got to see those. You got to see the Austin Powers movies. It's excellent. They're so
you
quotable.
Quote them way too much, Nick. You quote them all the time.
They
were the quotable thing though when we were in school. I'm assuming because we're all about the same age. If it wasn't Austin Powers movies in middle school, then it eventually became like Anchorman.
Yeah.
I mean, or Napoleon Dynamite. Like those were the quotable movies around the hallways.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Chris wouldn't know any of the references because he didn't see Goldmember till he was in college.
Correct.
Where'd you grow up, Chris?
Where I grew up in Florida, Orlando, Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. But
wow.
But we was a little bit earlier that I saw like some of those movies you guys are talking about came out a little bit later on. So I was in late high school, college. I'm trying to remember like Dumb and Dumber was a big thing for us.
Great.
That was
a
great movie.
Oh,
yeah. But the other 2 were terrible.
We've all seen Dumb and Dumber. Now that is a movie. If he had said he hadn't seen Dumb and Dumber, I would have lost it.
So what would be a movie that you would say is on your list where you say, I'm so passionate about this movie. If you haven't seen it, I have emotion that I'm going to show because I'm alive and human.
The Sandlot.
Chris, have you seen it?
Yes, absolutely. I've seen it.
Well, okay, so think of a movie that's like Fringe, but everybody should see this movie.
Fringe, but everybody should see it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think one of them was the Goonies that you mentioned already.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's Fringe, right? Like that's
really
Fringe. Classic.
What about Stand By Me? Stand By Me, would that be considered Fringe? I mean, that was pretty popular though, too, around the same time.
That was the Kids.
Yeah, did you see that movie?
I've seen that movie.
Yeah.
Do I remember it? No, because I just had to say, is that the Kids? But
the Kids.
I definitely saw it. Definitely saw that. Stand
That
By
was
Me. No, Stand By Me. That's a movie you guys would put out there as something people should have to see.
I've seen it.
I've seen it. I don't think it's on my list of you have to see it. It's good.
People feel strongly about that genre, like that era of movie.
Well, I feel the one movie I'd say I feel really strongly about, but I understand enough that it's probably not something that probably any of you guys have seen. It's one of the best movies I think. It's on 100 best movies of all time is The Deer Hunter. Have you guys seen that movie?
Robert De Niro.
Yes.
Yeah.
See it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you haven't
I
seen it?
still haven't seen it.
See, I feel really, really strongly about that, but at the same time, it's like I kind of understand that it's not one of those movies that makes it on most people's list, even though it's on the 100 best movies of all time list.
Yeah, Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings is one of those movies where I go, I can't believe you haven't seen that. What hole were you in the year 2000?
Yeah.
Good.
Or let's see what else. And part of it is that I love watching some older films. I'd say older now, but like Taxi Driver's another one would be out there. The
Sure.
Godfather, which you finally got around to seeing. So I mean, yeah, some of these classics. But there's some of my personal list that I feel ashamed for not watching, but you guys probably wouldn't feel shame. You probably wouldn't make me feel shameful about not seeing like Citizen Kane, for instance. You know what I mean?
I've never seen Citizen Kane. I've always said that's a movie I should see, but I've never seen it.
You should see that
You
movie.
should see that movie.
What is wrong with you, Nick?
What is wrong with you?
I've also here's a movie that gets people fired up. I've never seen it. I want to see it. I've never seen The Shining.
Oh, come on, dude. They made documentary movies about that movie.
Wow.
It's so good.
Absolutely, definitely need to see that.
See, I
Give
will
me some-
say this. I will say this though. No, see, I'm not gonna come at you hard with that because I think The Shining is overhyped. I saw it and was like,
Overhyped.
it was overhyped. I got to the end of it and was like, that was it. That was the movie.
Okay.
It just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
It didn't do it for me. It was fine. I guess you should see it. So the cultural references and all, but I don't know. I've never
Yeah,
said, you
that's-
know what movie I want to watch again? The Shining.
Did you see the new, like they did a newer movie of The Shining? They did it where the little boy's all grown up.
I did not see that.
Yes.
It's
I did
great.
hear about that. It's the sequel. What was the name of that movie?
I
Wait, does it
forget.
have the guy who was in the
remember
show
about
Wings in it?
Oh,
Or the band Wings.
I never really
No.
watched Wings.
Did it have Paul McCartney?
Oh, the movie was called Doctor Sleep.
Oh,
That's
here-
what it
Here
That's
comes
exactly-
Johnny Man.
was.
Did you
Okay,
see-
well,
I'm sorry.
if you love someone enough, you force them to watch these movies. Like my wife has never seen the movie Mars Attacks.
I've seen
So
about-
I made her sit down with me and watch Mars Attacks. She hated it and kind of was angry with me for making her watch it, but I loved her enough to show her that movie.
I never seen that movie.
and I love my wife enough to never show her that.
That's probably the best. That's the appropriate response. I don't know what I was doing.
Is it bad?
She hated it.
Oh, it's one of the worst movies ever made. That along with Time Bandits. Have you guys seen Time Bandits?
I don't think so.
And oh my goodness, it's one of those movies you watch just to say you've watched it because you just know it's going to be terrible. You have to say, oh yeah, you have to almost everybody has to confirm. Yeah, that's the worst movie I've ever seen. Just like everybody says it is.
That movie, Mars Attacks, there's a random quote in it that I will say around my family, and it's like they all get it because we've all seen it. It's a senile grandmother in it, and she always gets everybody in the family's name wrong. And then she like tells a whole story to this kid, and he's like, she's telling the story about him, and he's like, "Wow, Grandma, you remember?" And then he tells her she tells him the wrong name. She goes, "I know Thomas." Every now and then I'll like throw that out there, and like randomly my family gets it, and it's very funny. But here's the truth. We have loved ones, tapping back onto what Andy said, that they have to see certain movies. And so coming home from my honeymoon, flying from Spain to back to Newark, my wife and I watched Goodfellas. She had to see it. If we truly were one, we had to know the movie, right? If Andy and I, while we were dating, actually Andy, we weren't even dating, we were friends, and we went and saw Step Brothers together. That's a movie you have to, like, certain movies. And you said Anchorman. I've never seen Anchorman. Like, how is that like okay? To be
Have
like,
you seen Step Brothers?
Yes, I've seen Step Brothers. Yes, I have
Okay.
seen. So
That's
much more room for activities. Oh,
that's
yeah, I've
a-
seen that
that's
movie.
there you go.
That's a movie I tried watching with Katie and got super awkward when what's her face. I don't want to describe it. I don't know what families listen to this podcast,
Exactly.
but she
There's
says I'm balling you up and sticking you somewhere.
Yeah. Like,
I'm like, this is real weird. This movie was way funnier when not wed. And
yeah,
much
you got to have the right company to watch the movie in, obviously.
yeah.
That's
So
true too.
the wife is not one of those people.
My wife just looked at me and she's laughing.
Why did she hear me?
I guess she heard you, yeah. She's very uncomfortable.
She is not. She is not.
I do have questions for you if you've seen certain movies that I just need to clear this up because
Get it all out. Get it all out.
you know, well, first of all, like Nick and I have to see Goodfellas. We're from New Jersey. We're Italian. We have to watch that as New Jersey Italians. So if
College
we don't see
educated.
it, it's a crime. Have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Yes.
Oh, that was on my list.
It's on his list of no.
No,
Yeah.
I have not.
That was my first one, Ricky. I just
Watch it
pulled that out of a hat.
Yeah, I didn't get to everything on my list, and Pulp Fiction is on that list.
Excellent movie.
Cheeseburger in the UK. Is that what it is? Double cheeseburger in the UK, they call it. The
Royale with
Do you
cheese.
have your list?
with cheese. Yeah, yeah.
What?
Do you have your
Royale with
list
cheese.
of other movies you haven't seen?
Oh, yeah. He didn't. I think there's a.
My list was very.
Yeah, mine was very
small.
long.
Like,
And some
yeah.
of mine I felt bad about. I try to put the most shameful ones up front.
Yeah, so I think Pulp Fiction's the only one that didn't get mentioned.
So good.
Wait,
I mentioned. I
Bill?
haven't seen Animal House, Caddyshack.
I haven't seen Caddyshack either.
All
Alien.
right.
No, Alien. You didn't talk about Alien.
Oh, I haven't.
We both
seen,
haven't seen
I haven't
Alien.
seen
either.
Alien. Haven't seen Alien.
No, but I got the reference about
All
it in Spaceballs.
Keep them. Yeah, when the thing pops out
Yeah, that
and then starts dancing.
that actually made me frightened because I saw that as a kid, and that kept me from watching Alien when I found that was where the movie was from.
Because the
Because
Spaceballs.
the
one?
Spaceballs was scary enough for me. Yes, yes, exactly.
I love it.
All right, what else?
All right, I have a list, and this is probably Nick's favorite movie. My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, that's a
I have seen it.
phenomenal movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I
This
only
is like a
saw
Can We
about-
Be Friends list, Andy? Is this like Can We Be Friends? I'm going to tell you some movies, and if you haven't seen these movies, we can't be friends.
No,
It's
you can't
your-
cut me off after a decade. You can cut Chris off. You just met Andy,
Right.
but you can't cut me off.
I've known Chris for a long time. I've listened to him talk for like a long time. I listen to every episode. So
All he does is
there's a
talk.
bond.
All
All right,
more.
all right. Next up,
What about Dark Knight?
The
Batman movie?
the Dark Knight.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay. Nick,
Oh, though that's a valid question for you on account of you've missed all of Marvel. So
That's true. But DC,
that's why. Yeah.
he makes way worse movies except for those ones.
Yeah. that's true.
Anyway,
Those are really good.
okay, continue.
All of them.
Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pieces.
Oh,
Oh,
That should have been
That's
on my list. I think
That's
about
the
it.
general public favorite movie.
that's actually considered one of the most flawless movies ever made.
I know. I need to see it. I need to see it.
Yeah.
Got it. I got you. You guys scoffed and turned your face from the camera when I said pieces. Okay. All right.
You sure you want to keep going this route, Andy?
I feel like I haven't shamed myself in the movies that I haven't seen, and I'm not perfect. I'm just close to it, you know. Jurassic Park, never seen it.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, that is a serious. How have you
Oh
not
my
seen Jurassic
gosh.
Park?
I watched the newer ones with Chris Pratt, but it's
Those-
too late for me to watch the original ones, dude. Like back in the day, they were probably something, but now I'd be like, oh my
No,
gosh,
no,
this is-
they
No,
hold
they would
up.
still
If
hold
you go
today.
and watch
Absolutely
the
would.
original Jurassic Park, it holds up and doesn't feel like a 1990s movie. I believe.
Well, I still think it feels like a 1990s movie, but I think it's still acceptable. It's an acceptable.
It doesn't feel
movie.
like I don't know,
Nowadays.
a movie that tried to use special effects. It doesn't feel like when you go back and watch even Star Wars Episode 1 and you're like, wow, this CGI was not
really
great.
dated. Yeah.
So growing up, you went to Chuck E. Cheese and you sat on that awesome ride and you shot those dinosaurs and fought and spent all that money getting all those tickets and you never saw the movie.
never. I also never saw Jaws either.
Oh,
You
man.
have never seen
Oh.
Jaws?
No.
That's
That-
a shame thing right
There's
there.
no excuse because every beach community has a viewing of Jaws to start the summer every year.
Do they
There's
really?
countless opportunities you've had to this point in your life to have seen that movie.
Why would the beaches show that movie? Wouldn't that instill fear in people and make them not want to go to the beach?
Nah, it's like a kickoff to the summer.
Oh, All right.
That's informative too. If you get in the water, I mean, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, just
I've
don't
never
get in.
seen a man's chest that's more awkward than the old man at the beginning of that movie sitting on the beach. When you watch it, you'll see it and you'll know. Is the
I
weird-
can't wait for the episode of your show where you guys talk about men's chests. That's gonna be great.
You ready for that one?
Yeah, let's compare chests from all the leading men throughout. Yeah, film
I'll
You
just
got a deep
You'll see it when you see if you watch Jaws, which you should watch
I've seen it.
Jaws.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You don't.
I don't.
All right.
I've seen this many times. This movie.
Google. Oh no, run out of time. I really
got
should
10
buy
minutes.
Zoom. We got 10 minutes here. Hold on. I'm pulling up Old Man from Jaws.
I'm gonna look it up.
Old man from Jaws.
That's what I'm Googling. Now,
It's an old man at a diner.
Oh, I don't even remember that. To be honest with you.
I mean, that guy has he has breasts.
After watching that movie, that's what you remember. You-
that was more frightening than the shark. I don't know if I want to
Oh
share my
my
screen over, but
gosh.
you look. It's the second image. Oh, right. When you're a kid watching, you're like, what does it look like that?
You want me to watch this?
Aren't you intrigued?
oh my
It's
god.
probably scarier than the shark.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so you haven't seen Jaws. What was the other? Oh, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. That's a shame.
Jurassic Park, and then I haven't seen any of the Rocky movies.
Yeah, no, that's
You're
not
joking,
true.
right? You're joking.
I haven't seen them.
Way.
Did you go to school
You
outside of
have the
Philadelphia?
audacity to come on our show, our podcast, to yell at us for not seeing movies, and you haven't seen the Rocky movies, Jurassic Park. What's wrong with you?
I know. I'm a hypocrite. I'm yelling at you guys, and I haven't seen those.
You should
None of
have
the Rockies.
spent the time watching movies rather than get those tattoos on your arms.
Or just put one on while you're getting
Right,
the tattoo.
exactly.
Yeah, I could do that.
Do you think that you're ill-equipped to raise a man?
Listen, I have a list of movies that my son needs to see. The first one on that list is Toy Story.
Rocky is Rocky.
No way.
I think should be on the list.
I mean, what am I missing though?
What about
You
the
know,
first Rambo movie?
No,
How
you
about the
stop
First
it. I
Blood,
can't
the
get
first
into
Rambo
it.
movie. Have you seen
You're
that
missing
movie?
so much.
I haven't seen the first Rambo.
Andy, in the Rocky series, Rocky ends the Cold War.
He does. So
What? Does he really?
He has
Yeah,
Russia,
the fourth one.
the president or whatever he was of Russia cheering for him because of this very, very good speech. I mean, is
And
that
that stops the Cold War. He's a boxer.
he
Yeah,
stands
exactly.
up and he
That's what
says,
we need. We
if
just need
I
to
could
rock a bubble."
change,
If I could change-
you could change. We all can change.
You have three stupid men telling you probably should watch this movie.
It's
You
actually
should watch all of them.
I will watch the movies.
I will tell you which Rocky you can just not watch, though you
Okay.
probably just should. Rocky 5, you don't need to see it.
Yeah, it's true. You can skip that one and be fine.
But if you want to understand the story that leads up to Rocky Balboa, then maybe you should see Rocky 5. But you got to see 1 through 4.
Wow.
There's
That's rough, dude.
I
Oh.
literally said to Chris, like, well, at least you've seen the Rocky movies, because that would have been crazy if you hadn't seen those.
Yeah.
And then you show up on here to say you haven't seen the Rocky movies. Wow.
But I'm glad to see that you guys have that fight in you, though. I want to see you tear into each other next time. You know, if there's, I don't know, if you do an episode of like bands that you've never heard of or listened to, or
I would fail that one
He-
miserably.
Yeah.
would you really?
You listened to our guilty pleasure episode, right? Like
I
basically
did, yeah.
Chris is just super into electric keyboard love songs.
See, I think looking back at that episode, I think we had two very different definitions of guilty pleasures. I think we did. That was
Yeah.
rough. I came up front bearing my soul, going, this is what I feel I should feel guilty.
Well, because I
about."
put out songs out there that if you put it on and people wouldn't take you seriously as a person for listening to them.
right.
I mean, you just chose like romantic songs. Like I said, "Party in the USA."
Yeah,
Like that's not a legitimately good song.
no, but
That's like up there with
some of those-
Friday.
but some of those movies, some of those songs, though, other people would, you could play it at like a wedding and everybody would dance to it.
Yeah, but
and sing it and
ironically-
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. All the ones I shared, people would be like, "Chris, you're an imbecile." Like,
No, they'd
what
get
are
up
you
and slow
doing?
dance with their with the love of their life.
And they would. That's true.
So you think
Romantic.
when it comes to future episodes, when you talk about, Halloween movies, I liked that you touched on trains, planes, and
that's an idea.
automobiles.
For
Right.
Thanksgiving,
guys-
one of the few
guys-
Thanksgiving movies.
Yeah, I think you got something there. I think, I want to be a support to you guys and encourage you rather than come on here and destroy you.
Break
So-
it down, build this up, right? Yeah.
I think when you create your lists, you come and you say, hey, this is why. You try to defend it. How have you not seen it? Let's hear it. Right. And then obviously you're gonna have egg on your face when you say, like, oh, you should see this, but I haven't seen. You didn't see Goodfellas, which is outrageous.
Terrible.
Talk about both of you guys being Italian.
Oh.
Sick.
I've seen
Yeah.
Goodfellas. I hope you didn't take away that I didn't see it. I've seen it.
You didn't see the Big Lebowski, so everything you say is a lie.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, you're living a lie. Just
What? If you had some kind of punishment in place, maybe like electronic little zappers or something, and if someone says something ridiculous, you just, push the button, give them a little zap, or sock 'em boppers or something, It's violent.
The other side of the coin is we could say we've seen movies that we shouldn't have seen, or that we liked. Like I
I'm
saw,
not getting into that.
like I just don't
That's
want
not safe for work.
movie, but like, hey, I've seen Mean Girls and I liked it. Like, you're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like,
But Mean Girls wasn't a bad movie. That was
No,
one on your
no,
list.
I know. I'm just using it as an example.
Wait, you
I
haven't?
agree with you. So what he's saying is movies that you have watched in like a crazy amount of time. You've watched it over and over and over and over and over again, where it's a good movie. People may like it, but nobody likes it as much as you do.
Oh, that's me with Biodome.
Great example. It's an excellent movie. People shouldn't like Paulie Shore as much as you do.
Yeah,
That's true.
I love him.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
That sounds just like him.
Nah.
So which movies are you promising your listening audience that you have to watch, and you're gonna watch it before the end of the calendar year? If not, there should be a taser or something involved in this.
Good
Oh.
question.
Okay. Well, you guys kind of know what of the movies I have admitted to not seeing. What's one that I need to see?
You said
I'm
Shawshank-
committed to Trains, Planes, and Automobiles this Thanksgiving. But if there's,
I'm
if there's
committed to
something else-
Anchorman.
Good. That's a great commitment.
I haven't seen Dodgeball either, so I probably should.
Oh, dodgeball's great.
You haven't seen Dodgeball?
No.
Whew, that's another referencer, just full of references.
Tons of references.
Oh my goodness.
Also, if you like heavyweights, you're gonna love Dodgeball because it's the same character that
Yeah.
Ben Stiller plays.
Oh yeah, the
One's for a different audience.
I never saw Heavyweights.
Oh my gosh!
Too close to
I
home.
saw when I was really young. I don't remember too much. I just remember his character. He's the really intense
It's a
camp
fat-
counselor, right?
it's a
Trying
fat
to,
camp?
Yeah, yeah.
The fat-
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why would I want to
someone
watch a
that-
movie about that? My
It's
life
got-
is fat
It's
camp.
got Goldberg in it too, right? From from
from
Mighty Ducks.
And look what happened to him.
he just cleaned his life up though.
Oh, wait. He lost a lot of weight though.
Goldberg.
You have to watch that movie, dude.
You should watch it.
Wait, have you seen Mighty Ducks, Andy?
Yes. Okay. I've seen Mighty Ducks. Don't worry.
You've seen Mighty
I've
Ducks.
seen- oh,
You
I've
watched
seen
you
them.
watched
I've
the
seen
TV
them
show.
all.
You watched the shows.
Yeah,
on
we were
Disney
just
Plus.
actually looking to see if they had season 2 out yet. It's not.
Chris grew up in Orlando. He's obligated to see anything Disney.
Oh, that's absolutely yeah, that's true. I watched a lot of Disney. Went to Disney a lot.
It's great.
Hated Avatar though.
It's magical.
Right? Didn't Disney?
Was it
I think it was.
Avatar?
I think so.
I don't know.
Was it Disney?
Is it Avatar Universal?
Oh, maybe it's Universal.
Yeah. No,
They just-
it's
They
Disney.
created Avatar Land, didn't they?
They have the ride.
That-
It's like 4 hours to get on that thing.
Yeah, and it's
A
terrible.
4-hour movie.
I'm not sure
Watch
it's
the movie in line.
So you can commit to not seeing that movie, and you'll be fine this rest of this year. Avatar.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna watch Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. That's what I'm committing to.
Great.
No, you should do more than that.
An Endgame.
And the Goonies.
Infinity War and Endgame. All the
Can we
Avengers.
just have him finish.
The Big Lebowski and Goodfellas need to be seen immediately.
Goodfellas right now, today.
I'll watch Goodfellas as well. This.
Shawshank too.
Crank it up.
Shawshank
People
also.
walk into the church and they'll be like, "What is happening?
You're right.
What kind of church is
Your,
this?"
your sermons are going to be better having watched these movies.
You'll be a better father, a better man. You're all around great.
You'll be very violent though,
I will. Yeah.
verbally and physically. All right. Well,
Uh,
guys, hey,
was
thank you for
fun.
coming on. to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for laughing.
It's just fun. You guys keep it fun. Because I know you don't act well, I'm not sure. In my heart, I believe you don't actually hate us for this, but
We love you. I'm still a huge fan. I'm still gonna cringe and yell while listening to you guys all the time.
that's our hope. We want people to cringe.
Yeah.
Get 2 or 3 episodes in a year or something like that.
If we ever make T-shirts,
I appreciate
you'll be
your
one of
honesty.
the first ones to
Nick.
get
If nothing
one.
else.
I'll be the first to buy it.
Yeah.
all
Thanks guys for coming on. That was fun.
right.
Thanks for having us.
Guys, later.
All right.